The morning sun of Kepler 442b cast long shadows across the rocky ground as Lieutenant Hana checked her watch. 3 hours until the next patrol rotation. She stood on the observation deck of Forward Operating Base Echo, watching the empty horizon through her binoculars. The alien landscape looked peaceful, but Hana knew better than to trust appearances. "Lieutenant, morning report is ready," called Corporal Junho from behind her. He climbed the metal stairs to the deck, carrying a steaming cup of coffee and a data pad. Hana turned and accepted both gratefully. The coffee was terrible, but it was hot. She sipped it while scanning the patrol reports from the night shift. Everything looked normal. No movement detected beyond the perimeter. All sensors functioning properly, all communication systems operational. "Any word from command about those energy readings we picked up last week?" she asked. Junho shook his head. "Nothing yet. They said the science team is still analyzing the data." Hana frowned. The energy readings had been strange, unlike anything in their databases. But command seemed more interested in routine patrols than investigating anomalies. She supposed that was typical. The brass always wanted everything to look normal on paper. "Where are Minji and Dongho?" she asked. "Sergeant Minji is running diagnostics on the perimeter sensors. Private Dongho is in the communications room, monitoring long-range frequencies." Hana nodded. Her team was small but efficient. They had been stationed on this border planet for 8 months now, watching for signs of alien activity in the disputed zone. So far, they had seen nothing more threatening than the local wildlife. The planet itself was beautiful in a harsh way. Red rocks jutted up from purple sand. Strange plants with silver leaves grew in clusters around underground water sources. 2 moons hung in the pale sky during the day, and at night, the aurora danced in sheets of green and gold. But beauty could be deceiving. Intelligence reports suggested that several alien species had shown interest in this system. The planet sat at a strategic location along major shipping routes. Whoever controlled it would have significant advantages in this sector of space. Hana finished her coffee and handed the empty cup back to Junho. "I want to do a full perimeter check this morning. Something feels off." Junho raised an eyebrow. "Off how?" "I don't know, just a feeling." As a soldier, Hana had learned to trust her instincts. They had kept her alive through 3 combat deployments and countless dangerous situations. Right now, those instincts were telling her that something was wrong. She made her way down to the main level of the base. The facility was compact but well-designed. Living quarters, command center, communications room, armory, and medical bay were all connected by reinforced corridors. The whole structure was built into a natural rock formation, making it difficult to spot from a distance. In the command center, banks of monitors displayed feeds from dozens of sensors scattered around their territory. Motion detectors, heat, sensors, electromagnetic field monitors, and visual cameras all fed data to the central computer system. Sergeant Minji looked up as Hana entered. "Morning, Lieutenant. I just finished the sensor check. Everything is green." Minji was the most experienced member of the team. She had been in the military for 12 years and knew her equipment inside and out. If she said the sensors were working properly, Hana believed her. "Any problems with the overnight recordings?" Hana asked. "Nothing significant. A few small animals triggered the motion sensors around Sector 7. Some electromagnetic interference around dawn, probably from the aurora. Normal stuff." Hana studied the displays. Sector 7 was on the eastern edge of their patrol area, mostly empty ground with a few rock formations. The electromagnetic interference was also normal. The planet's magnetic field interacted with solar radiation to create spectacular light shows, but it also caused problems with sensitive equipment. "I want to take a patrol out to Sector 7, Hana said. "Check those motion sensor readings." "In person?" Minji looked puzzled. "Is there a problem?" "Probably not. But I want to be sure." Hana gathered her team in the briefing room. The room was small, with a table surrounded by 4 chairs and a wall-mounted display screen. Maps of their patrol area covered one wall, marked with colored pins to show sensor locations and patrol routes. "We're doing an extended patrol this morning. she announced. Sector 7 showed some activity overnight. I want to investigate. Dong-ho raised his hand. What kind of activity? Motion sensors picked up something. Probably just local wildlife, but we should check it out. The team prepared their equipment efficiently. Combat armor, weapons, communication gear, field sensors, medical supplies, and emergency rations. They had done this routine hundreds of times. Hana double-checked her rifle and sidearm. The weapons were designed for multiple threat types: projectile rounds for organic targets, energy pulses for armored opponents, and electromagnetic charges for disabling electronic systems. She hoped she would not need any of them. They left the base through the main airlock. The artificial atmosphere inside the base was comfortable, but outside, they relied on their armor's life support systems. The air was breathable for humans, but thin and cold. The patrol route to Sector 7 took them through familiar terrain: rocky hills, scattered vegetation, and the occasional stream of mineral-rich water. Their boots crunched on the purple sand as they walked in formation. Junho took point, scanning ahead with his enhanced optics. Minji monitored their electronic sensors. Dong-ho watched their rear. Hana coordinated their movement and maintained communication with the base. Base, this is Patrol 1. She spoke into her helmet microphone. We are approaching Sector 7. ETA 5 minutes. Copy Patrol 1. All clear on the sensors. As they crested a low hill, Sector 7 spread out below them. It looked exactly the same as always. Empty ground dotted with rock formations. No signs of disturbance. No indication that anything had been there. Motion sensors are over there. Minji pointed to a cluster of rocks about 200 meters away. They approached carefully, weapons ready, but not aimed. The sensors were small devices hidden among the rocks, nearly invisible unless you knew where to look. Minji checked the data logs on her portable scanner. Readings show movement at 0347 hours, she reported. Something large moving fast from east to west. Hana examined the ground around the sensors. The purple sand showed no footprints or tracks. Whatever had triggered the sensors had not left obvious signs of its passage. Could have been airborne, Junho suggested. Maybe. But the motion pattern suggests ground movement. Dong-ho was scanning the area with his rifle scope. Lieutenant, you should see this. He was looking at a rock formation about 50 meters to the west. Hana raised her binoculars and focused on the spot he indicated. The rock showed clear signs of damage. Deep gouges cut into the stone surface. The gouges were too regular to be natural erosion, too clean to be caused by weather or small animals. Those marks are fresh, Minji observed as they moved closer to investigate. The gouges were approximately 3 centimeters wide and cut deep into the hard rock. They appeared to be claw marks, but from an animal far larger than anything known to exist on this planet. Base, this is Patrol 1, Hana radioed. We have found evidence of large animal activity in Sector 7. Requesting guidance. Copy. Patrol 1, can you describe the evidence? Before Hana could respond, every sensor alarm in her helmet began screaming at once. The sensor alarms in Hana's helmet created a wall of sound that made thinking difficult. She tapped the side of her helmet to reduce the volume while scanning the horizon for threats. Her team automatically moved into defensive positions around the damaged rocks. Contact bearing 270, Junho called out, his voice tight with tension. Range 800 meters and closing fast. Hana swung her binoculars toward the west. At first she saw nothing but empty ground and scattered rocks. Then something white moved between 2 large boulders, something big and fast. I see it, she said into her radio. Base, we have visual contact with unknown entity. Large, white in color, moving toward our position at high speed. Copy, Patrol 1. Can you identify the species? Negative. This is unlike anything in our database. The creature burst from behind the rocks and Hana got her first clear look at it. Her breath caught in her throat. The thing was enormous, easily 3 meters long and over 1 meter tall at the shoulder. Its body was covered in pure white fur that seemed to glow in the alien sunlight. But this was no ordinary animal. The creature moved on 4 legs like a giant cat, but its proportions were wrong. Too long, too muscular, too purposeful. Its head was massive, with ears that swept back along its skull. and its eyes. Even at this distance, Hana could see its eyes were not the simple black orbs of an animal. They glowed with a blue light that spoke of intelligence and technology. "It's some kind of feline," Minji reported, her rifle trained on the approaching creature. "But look at the size of those claws." The creature's paws were enormous, and from each one extended claws that gleamed like metal in the sunlight. As they watched, the creature's claws tore through a boulder in its path, shredding the hard stone like paper. "Base, this entity appears to have enhanced capabilities," Hana radioed. "It just destroyed a rock formation with its claws. We may need immediate extraction." "Copy, Patrol 1. Extraction team is being prepared. Hold your position." The creature was now only 400 meters away and still coming fast. Hana could see more details that made her stomach clench with fear. Lines of blue light ran along the creature's body like glowing tattoos. Technology was embedded in its fur, creating patterns of metal and crystal that pulsed with energy. "It has some kind of shielding," Dongho observed, looking through his weapons scope. "Energy field around its body." Hana could see it too now. The air around the creature shimmered like heat waves, distorting the view beyond it. This was definitely not a natural animal. "All weapons hot," she ordered. "Prepare to engage on my command." The team raised their rifles. Hana knew their weapons were powerful enough to stop most known threats, but she had no idea if they would be effective against this creature's shielding. At 200 meters, the creature showed no signs of slowing down. Its massive paws pounded against the ground, sending small rocks flying with each step. Hana could hear its breathing now, harsh and labored. It sounded like it was running from something rather than hunting them. "On my mark," she said, her finger moving to her rifle's trigger. At 100 meters, she could see individual details of the creature's face. Its mouth was open, revealing teeth that were definitely not natural. They gleamed like metal and were far too large and sharp for any earth-based feline. But there was something in its eyes that made her hesitate. Fear. The creature's glowing blue eyes showed unmistakable fear. At 50 meters, Hana was about to give the order to fire when the impossible happened. The creature stumbled, its energy shield flickering and dying. It took 3 more steps and then collapsed onto the purple sand just 20 meters from their position. For several seconds, nobody moved. The creature lay motionless, its massive sides heaving with exhaustion. The blue lights along its body faded to dim sparks and the glow in its eyes dimmed to barely visible points. "Is it dead?" Dongho whispered. "I don't think so," Hana replied, keeping her weapon aimed at the creature's head. "But something is definitely wrong with it." As they watched, the creature slowly raised its massive head and looked directly at Hana. Up close, she could see that its white fur was matted with what looked like blood. Dark stains covered its left side, and some of the technological implants in its body were sparking and smoking. The creature opened its mouth, and Hana tensed, expecting some kind of roar or attack cry. Instead, it made a sound that was almost like speech. Not words she could understand, but definitely an attempt to communicate. "Did it just try to talk to us?" Junyo asked. Before anyone could answer, the creature slowly raised one of its massive paws. Hana almost fired, thinking it was preparing to attack, but instead of extending its claws, the creature turned its paw over, revealing what looked like a control panel embedded in the fur of its forearm. The panel flickered to life, projecting a holographic display into the air above the creature's paw. The display showed symbols and numbers that scrolled across a translucent screen. None of the symbols looked familiar, but the mathematical notation was clearly recognizable. "It's trying to communicate with us," Minji said, lowering her rifle slightly. The creature's eyes focused on Hana with desperate intensity. It manipulated the holographic display with its other paw, changing the symbols and numbers. After a moment, the display showed a simple mathematical equation. 2 + 2 = 4. It knows mathematics, Hana realized. It's trying to establish basic communication. The creature continued working with its display, showing more basic mathematical concepts: addition, subtraction, multiplication. Then it moved to simple geometric shapes: circle, square, triangle. Each shape appeared on the display and rotated, slowly. "This is first contact protocol stuff," Junho said, "using universal concepts to build a common language." Hana lowered her rifle but kept it ready. "Base, this is Patrol 1. The entity is attempting to communicate using mathematical and geometric concepts. It appears to be intelligent and possibly friendly." "Copy, Patrol 1. Maintain safe distance and continue observations." The creature seemed to understand that they were no longer treating it as an immediate threat. It worked more quickly with its display, showing increasingly complex concepts. Star charts appeared on the holographic screen, with one particular star system, highlighted in red. "That's our system," Minji breathed. "It's showing us our own solar system." The creature nodded its massive head, a surprisingly human gesture. Then it changed the display again. This time it showed what looked like a fleet of spacecraft approaching the highlighted star system. The ships were sleek and alien, unlike any human design. But what made Hana's blood run cold was the context. The display clearly showed these ships as hostile forces preparing to attack. The creature looked directly into her eyes and made that almost speech sound again. This time the HFY meaning was unmistakable even without words. "Warning, danger, help, base," Hana said into her radio, her voice steady despite the fear growing in her chest. "I think this creature is trying to warn us about an incoming attack." The creature's display changed one more time, showing a countdown timer. The numbers were alien, but the concept was universal. Time was running out. As if summoned by her words, new alarms began sounding in their helmets. Long-range sensors were detecting multiple contacts approaching their position at high speed. The creature's ears swiveled toward the approaching threats, and it made a sound that needed no translation. Fear mixed with desperate determination. It was asking for their help to survive whatever was coming for it, and by extension coming for all of them. The approaching contacts showed up on every sensor they had. 3 distinct energy signatures moving fast across the desert toward their position. Hana made a quick decision that went against every regulation in the book. "Help me move it to cover," she ordered her team, gesturing toward the wounded creature. "Lieutenant, are you sure about this?" Minji asked, but she was already moving toward the creature's massive form. "No, but our sensors show 3 hostiles coming this way. If this thing wanted us dead, we would be dead already." The creature seemed to understand their intention. It struggled to its feet, clearly in pain from its injuries. Up close, Hana could see that several of the technological implants along its body were damaged, sparking occasionally with blue energy. They helped guide the creature behind a large rock formation that would provide cover from the approaching threats. The creature was heavy, probably weighing as much as a small vehicle, but it cooperated fully with their efforts. Once they were in position, the creature activated its holographic display again. This time, it showed more detailed information. A star chart appeared focusing on their local region of space. The creature touched different points on the display, each one lighting up with information. "It's showing us territorial boundaries," Junho realized. "Look, that section is marked differently from the others." The creature's display showed several different zones of space, each marked with different symbols. Most were colored in cool blues and greens, but one section was marked in angry red. Their solar system sat right on the border between red and blue zones. The creature manipulated the display to show more detail about the red zone. Ships appeared on the screen. Lots of ships. The fleet they had seen before was just a small part of a much larger military force. "Base, this is Patrol 1, Hana radioed. "We are receiving what appears to be strategic intelligence about hostile forces in our region. Multiple fleets much larger than initial display indicated." "Copy, Patrol 1. Are you able to record this intelligence?" Dongho was already working on that, using his helmet camera to record everything the creature showed them. The alien seemed to notice and approve of this action, slowing down its display changes to make sure everything was clearly recorded. The creature touched a new section of its display, and suddenly they were looking at detailed schematics of alien spacecraft. Weapon systems, shield generators, propulsion units. The level of detail was incredible. "This is military intelligence," Minji said quietly. Detailed technical specifications. The creature nodded and continued its presentation. It showed them tactical formations, attack patterns, and what looked like battle plans. Everything was clearly focused on one target: human space. "They are planning to attack us," Hana said. "But why is this creature showing us their plans?" As if it understood her question, the creature changed its display one more time. This time it showed images of its own species, tall, humanoid figures with feline features. They walked upright, but retained the enhanced senses and physical capabilities of their animal ancestors. The images showed them in various settings: cities, spacecraft, laboratories. The creature touched its chest with one massive paw, then pointed to the images. On the display, the message was clear. This was its species. These were its people. But then the display changed to show conflict within the alien society. Two groups were clearly in disagreement about something. One group was larger and seemed to be in control. The other group was smaller but more diverse, including the creature now sitting with them. "Civil war," Junho observed. "There are two factions among his people." The creature confirmed this with another nod. It showed them more images of the conflict. The larger faction wanted aggressive expansion into human territory. The smaller faction opposed this plan. The creature itself belonged to the opposition group. "You're a rebel," Hana said, looking into the creature's glowing eyes. "You stole this intelligence to warn us." The creature's response was to show them images of human military forces, but these were not images from public broadcasts or diplomatic channels. These were detailed surveillance records: human soldiers in combat situations, human spacecraft in battle formations, human weapons in action. "They have been watching us," Minji said grimly, "studying our military capabilities." The creature showed more images: human soldiers adapting to new threats, improvising solutions to tactical problems, working together under extreme pressure. The images clearly showed humans in situations where they were outgunned and outnumbered, but still finding ways to survive and win. Then the display showed something that made Hana's heart sink: casualty projections. Computer models showing what would happen if the alien fleet attacked human colonies. The numbers were massive: billions of human lives lost, but the creature was not finished. It showed them alternative projections. What would happen if humans were warned in advance? What would happen if humans had time to prepare proper defenses? The casualty numbers dropped significantly, but they were still enormous. Finally, the creature showed them one more projection. What would happen if the two species worked together instead of fighting? The display showed images of humans and the alien species cooperating, sharing technology, exploring space together. "You want an alliance," Hana realized. "You think we are stronger working together than fighting separately?" The creature made that almost speech sound again, but this time it sounded more like agreement than desperation. Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of weapons fire in the distance. The three approaching contacts had arrived and were attacking something beyond the nearby hills. The creature's ears swiveled toward the sound, and its technological implants began glowing more brightly. It was clearly afraid, but not just for itself. It looked at each human in turn, then back toward the sounds of battle. "Base, this is Patrol 1, Hana radioed. "We are hearing weapons fire approximately 2 kilometers to our west. Multiple energy discharges. Copy, Patrol 1. Long-range sensors confirm 3 alien craft engaged in combat operations. Unknown targets." The creature activated its display one more time, showing them a real-time tactical situation. 3 hunter ships were systematically destroying everything in a search pattern. They were looking for the creature, and they would kill anything they found to eliminate witnesses. "They are hunting you," Dongho said, "and they will kill us too if they find us." The creature nodded grimly. Then it did something unexpected. It began removing technological devices from its own body. Small crystalline units that had been embedded in its fur. Each removal clearly caused it pain, but it continued until it had a small pile of alien technology sitting on the ground. It gestured from the technology to the humans, then to its display showing the approaching hunter ships. "It's giving us its technology," Minji breathed. "Weapons or tools to help us fight. The creature manipulated its display to show them how to activate and use the devices, simple point-and-shoot interfaces. But the energy readings showed these weapons were far more powerful than anything in human arsenals. As the sounds of weapons fire grew closer, the creature looked directly at Hana. Its glowing eyes held a mixture of hope and desperation. It had given them everything it could: intelligence about the invasion, technology to help them fight, and a chance to forge an alliance between their species. Now it was up to the humans to decide whether to trust an alien defector or follow protocol and let both species destroy each other in an unnecessary war. The decision would have to be made quickly. The hunter ships were moving in their direction, and soon there would be no time left for choices. The weapons fire was getting closer. Hana could see flashes of bright energy lighting up the sky beyond the hills. Whatever the hunter ships were destroying, they were being thorough about it. Smoke rose from multiple locations, and the sound of explosions echoed across the desert. "Base, this is Patrol 1, she radioed. "Request immediate orders. We have alien defector with critical intelligence but 3 hostile hunter ships approaching our position." The radio crackled with static before command responded. "Patrol 1, you are ordered to maintain safe distance from alien contact and await extraction. Do not engage hostile forces." Hana looked at her team. Minji was studying the alien weapons the creature had given them, her expression thoughtful. Junho was monitoring the approaching hunter ships on his scanner. Dongho was watching the creature, which had curled up against the rocks to make itself as small as possible. "Lieutenant," Minji said quietly, "if we follow orders and wait for extraction, those hunter ships will find us long before help arrives." She was right. The extraction team would take at least 30 minutes to reach their position. The hunter ships would be here in less than 10 minutes. "And if we trust this alien and its weapons?" Hana asked. "Then we might actually have a chance to survive this," Junho replied. "Our standard weapons would barely scratch those hunter ships. But these alien devices..." He held up one of the crystalline weapons. "The energy readings are off the charts." The creature watched them discuss their options. It seemed to understand that they were debating whether to help it or abandon it. Its glowing eyes showed resignation mixed with hope. "There's another issue," Dongho said. "If this creature is telling the truth about the invasion fleet, then command needs this intelligence immediately. Every minute we delay gives the enemy more time to prepare their attack." Hana felt the weight of command pressing down on her shoulders. Her orders were clear. Maintain safe distance. Wait for extraction. Follow protocol. But protocol had not anticipated a situation like this. If the creature was lying, then helping it would put her team in unnecessary danger and possibly compromise their mission. But if it was telling the truth, then following protocol could result in the destruction of human civilization. "Base, this is Patrol 1. She radioed again. "The alien entity has provided detailed intelligence about an impending large-scale invasion of human space. This intelligence appears authentic and urgent. Request permission to accept alien assistance in surviving hunter ship pursuit." The response came back immediately. "Patrol 1, you are not authorized to accept alien technology or assistance. Maintain current position and await extraction." Hana closed her eyes for a moment. Command was 200 light-years away, sitting in comfortable offices, making decisions about a situation they could not possibly understand. They had not seen the fear in the creature's eyes. They had not seen the detailed invasion plans. They had not heard the approaching hunter ships. "Base, I need you to understand our situation," she said into her radio. 3 alien hunter ships are systematically destroying everything in a 2-kilometer search pattern. They will reach our position in approximately 8 minutes. Standard extraction time is 30 minutes minimum. Patrol 1, hold your position. That is a direct order." Hana looked at each member of her team. Minji met her eyes and nodded slightly. Junho hefted one of the alien weapons and checked its activation sequence. Dongho was already moving to a better defensive position. They had served together for 2 years. They trusted each other completely. And right now, they all understood that following orders meant dying uselessly, while potentially allowing humanity's enemies to achieve surprise in their attack. "I'm sorry, Base," Hana said into her radio. "But I'm making a command decision to accept alien assistance. The intelligence this defector is providing could save billions of human lives. Lieutenant Hana, you are ordered to comply with previous instructions. Do not take unauthorized action. Hana reached up and switched off her radio. Her team did the same without being asked. The creature had been watching this exchange with obvious interest. When it saw them pick up the alien weapons and begin checking the activation procedures it had shown them, its ears perked up with what looked like hope. All right, Hana said to the creature. We are going to help you, but you need to help us too. How do we fight those hunter ships? The creature activated its holographic display and showed them a tactical analysis of the approaching ships. Each hunter ship was fast and heavily armed, but they had weaknesses. Their shields were designed to stop energy weapons but were less effective against kinetic projectiles. Their sensors were sophisticated, but could be confused by electromagnetic interference. More importantly, the hunter ships were operating under specific rules of engagement. They were supposed to capture the defector alive if possible, which meant they would hesitate to use their most powerful weapons if the creature was too close to other targets. Human tactics, the creature managed to say in heavily accented but understandable words. Chaos tactics. Hunters expect logic. Humans use chaos. Hana smiled grimly. The creature had clearly studied human military operations and understood something that many alien species missed. Humans did not fight fair. They used whatever worked, regardless of whether it followed standard tactical doctrine. Can you move? She asked the creature. It struggled to its feet, clearly still in pain from its injuries. Several of its technological implants were completely dark now, but enough remained functional to keep it mobile. We need to split up, Hana decided. Make them choose multiple targets. Minji, take the creature and head for that rocky area to the north. Use the terrain to break up their sensor locks. What about you? Minji asked. Junho, Dongho, and I will create a distraction to the south, draw their fire, and give you time to reach better cover. The creature shook its massive head and activated its display again. It showed them an alternative plan. Instead of splitting up, they should work together to disable one hunter ship and use its technology against the other two. Ambitious, Junho observed. But these alien weapons might actually make it possible. The creature showed them the weak points in hunter ship design. Areas where their shields were thinnest, locations of critical systems, and the best angles of attack. It also showed them how to coordinate their fire for maximum effectiveness. You really want us to shoot down alien spacecraft, Dongho said with a mixture of awe and terror. The creature nodded emphatically. Then it added something to its display that made Hana's decision final. A communication from the hunter ships to their command structure. They were reporting the destruction of all evidence in their search area and preparing to expand their hunt to include human military installations. The hunters were not just looking for the defector. They were preparing to eliminate any humans who might have been exposed to classified information. They are going to attack our base, Hana realized. Even if we hide and let them capture this creature, they will still kill everyone at forward. Operating Base Echo. The creature confirmed this with a solemn nod. Hana looked at her team one more time. They were all ready, alien weapons in hand, prepared to trust their lives to technology they barely understood in order to fight an enemy they had never faced before. This is it, she said. We make our stand here, human and alien, fighting together, against a common enemy. The creature made that almost speech sound again, but this time it sounded like gratitude. In the distance, the first hunter ship appeared over the hills, its sleek form silhouetted against the alien sky. It was time to see if human chaos tactics could survive against alien military precision. The first hunter ship moved like liquid metal across the sky. Its hull was smooth and dark, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Energy readings from Hana's scanner showed massive power signatures from weapons and shields that dwarfed anything in the human military arsenal. Remember, she whispered to her team, the creature said they expect logical, predictable tactics. We give them chaos instead. The hunter ship began a systematic search pattern, moving slowly over the terrain while scanning for signs of its target. Its movements were precise and methodical, Exactly what military doctrine would recommend for a search and destroy mission. Hana smiled grimly. Military doctrine was about to meet human improvisation. Dongho, when I give the signal, I want you to run directly at that ship while firing everything you have, she ordered. That's suicide, me replied, but he was already moving into position. No, that's unpredictable. They will expect us to take cover and shoot from concealment. They will not expect a frontal assault from inferior forces. The creature activated its display one more time, showing them the exact moment to strike. The hunter ship's shields would rotate through different frequencies to maintain maximum protection. But for 3 seconds during each rotation cycle, there would be a gap in coverage near the ship's engine housing. Now, Hana said. Dongho broke from cover and sprinted directly toward the hunter ship, firing the alien weapon as he ran. The energy bolts were brilliant blue-white and struck the ship's shields with tremendous force. As predicted, the hunter ship immediately focused all its attention on this unexpected threat. What the hunters did not expect was for the other 3 humans to attack from completely different directions at the same moment. Hana, Junho, and Minji opened fire from 3 separate positions, their alien weapons cutting through the gap in the ship's shield rotation, exactly as the creature had predicted. The hunter ship's engine housing exploded in a shower of sparks and debris. The ship immediately lost altitude and crashed into the rocky ground with a grinding screech of metal against stone. One down, Junho shouted, but his celebration was cut short as the second hunter ship appeared over the northern hills. This one had learned from watching the first ship's destruction. Instead of conducting a slow search pattern, it immediately began firing at every possible hiding spot in the area. Energy bolts turned rocks to vapor and set the strange desert plants on fire. It's not taking any chances, Minji observed, diving behind a boulder as another energy blast passed overhead. The creature had taken shelter near Hana's position. Its remaining technological implants were glowing brightly now, clearly drawing power from some internal source. It activated its holographic display and showed them something new. The crashed hunter ship was still partially functional. Its communication system was sending a distress signal to the third hunter ship, but more importantly, its weapon systems could be accessed if someone could reach the wreckage. You want us to capture their weapons, Hana realized. The creature nodded and showed them the access codes needed to override the ship's security systems, but reaching the wreckage would require crossing 50 meters of open ground while under fire from the second hunter ship. I'll go, Dongho volunteered. I'm the fastest runner. No, the creature said in its halting English. I go. I know systems. You cover. Before anyone could argue, the creature burst from cover and began running toward the crashed ship. Its massive form moved with surprising speed despite its injuries. The second hunter ship immediately focused its fire on this primary target. Hana and her team provided covering fire, forcing the hunter ship to divide its attention between multiple threats. Their alien weapons were powerful enough to damage the ship's shields, but not powerful enough to penetrate them completely. The creature reached the wreckage and began working frantically with the ship's control systems. Its paws moved across alien interfaces with practiced efficiency. Within seconds, the crashed ship's weapon turrets swiveled around and began firing at the second hunter ship. The hunter ship was caught completely off guard. It had been designed to fight other spacecraft, not to be attacked by its own weapons from the ground. Its shields, positioned to deflect attacks from above, were useless against weapons firing from below. The second hunter ship tried to retreat, but the crashed ship's weapons tracked it across the sky. Within moments, the retreating ship was trailing smoke and debris. It managed to clear the immediate area but was clearly damaged and no longer an immediate threat. 2 down, Minji said with satisfaction. Where's the third one? Junho asked, scanning the sky with his rifle scope. The creature's display provided the answer. The third hunter ship was not approaching their location. Instead, it was heading directly for forward operating base Echo. It's going to attack our base, Hana realized. Everyone there will be slaughtered. The creature worked frantically with the crashed ship's systems, trying to establish communications with the base, but the ship's communication array had been damaged in the crash. They could receive signals but could not transmit. Base, this is Patrol 1. Hana tried her radio, switching it back on. Base, please respond. Nothing but static answered her calls. The creature showed them the tactical situation on its display. The third hunter ship was already in position above the base. Energy readings showed it was charging its main weapons for a devastating attack. We have to do something, Dongho said desperately. The creature began removing more technology from its body, working through obvious pain to extract a small device from somewhere near its chest. This device was different from the others, glowing with a steady golden light instead of the usual blue. It activated the device, and suddenly they could hear radio transmissions from the base. Multiple voices, all talking at once, reporting the appearance of an alien spacecraft and requesting immediate assistance. Base, this is Lieutenant Hana. She broadcast on all frequencies. The alien ship above you is hostile. Repeat, the alien ship is hostile and preparing to attack. You need to evacuate immediately. Patrol 1, where are you? Came the response from Base Commander Kim. We have been trying to reach you for 20 minutes. We are in Sector 7 with an alien defector who has provided critical intelligence about an impending invasion. The ship above you is a hunter sent to eliminate all witnesses. Lieutenant, you are ordered to return to base immediately and surrender the alien entity to proper authorities. Hana looked at the creature, which was monitoring the conversation through its translation systems. Its glowing eyes showed resignation and determination in equal measure. Base, I cannot comply with that order, she said. This alien risked its life to warn us about an invasion fleet. It has provided weapons and intelligence that saved our lives. I will not abandon it to be executed. Lieutenant, you are relieved of command. Report to base immediately for disciplinary action. The creature touched Hana's arm gently with one massive paw. When she looked at it, the creature showed her something on its display that changed everything. Real-time sensor data from the hunter ship above the base. The ship was not just preparing to attack the base, it was preparing to attack the base with weapons designed to leave no survivors and no evidence. Total annihilation. But the display showed something else. The damaged second hunter ship was limping back toward the third ship, and all three ships were preparing to withdraw from the planet completely. Their mission was nearly complete. They are going to destroy the base and leave, Hana realized, making it look like an accident or natural disaster. The creature nodded grimly. Then it activated one final system in the crashed ship. A message, beacon that began broadcasting on multiple frequencies, both human and alien. The message was simple but comprehensive. Full documentation of the planned invasion, complete technical specifications of the hunter ships, and detailed evidence of the war crimes about to be committed against non-combatant humans. You are broadcasting this to everyone, Hana said with growing understanding. Human command, your own people, neutral species in this region. The creature confirmed this with a nod. By making the information public, it had made it impossible for either side to ignore what was happening. The invasion could no longer be a surprise attack, and the hunters could no longer eliminate witnesses without consequences. Above forward operating base Echo, the third hunter ship suddenly changed course and began retreating at maximum speed. Its commander had clearly received the broadcast and understood that the mission was now compromised beyond recovery. Base, this is Patrol 1, Hana radioed. The hostile ship is withdrawing. You are no longer in immediate danger. Patrol 1, please explain what just happened. Hana looked at the creature, which was now slumped against the crashed ship, clearly exhausted by its efforts. Its remaining technological implants were dim, and it was breathing heavily. Base, we just prevented an interstellar war through an alliance with an alien defector. I recommend immediate diplomatic contact with moderate factions of this species to establish formal peaceful relations. The creature managed to activate its display one more time, showing images of its own people receiving the broadcast. The reaction was immediate and dramatic. The moderate faction that opposed the invasion was using this evidence to challenge their government's aggressive policies. Your people are calling for peace, Hana observed. Some are, the creature replied in its improving English. Others still want war, but now they cannot claim humans are weak or unprepared. Hana smiled and extended her hand toward the creature. After a moment of confusion, it extended one massive paw and gently touched her fingers. "I am Lieutenant Hana of the Human Defense Force," she said formally. "I am Bayek of the Shirok Resistance," the creature replied. "I request political asylum with your people." "Granted," Hana said without hesitation. "And I think I speak for all humans when I say we would be honored to have you as our first interstellar ally." As the alien sun set over the purple desert, casting long shadows across the battlefield where two species had chosen cooperation over conflict, Hana realized that this was just the beginning. The universe was vast and full of dangers, but it was also full of potential friends. And sometimes the most dangerous enemies could become the most valuable allies.